Hey, it's Dan, and welcome to Unified Gaming. So in today's stream, we are going to be hopping onto the PTS week 1 for update 50 and talking all things class masteries. We're going to jump kind of into one that I've set up on last stream and show you kind of how they work, what you need to know, and some of the cool things you can do with them, because there's a lot of power if you don't subclass. We're then going to try some different classes this one and kind of see what we can make. So we are on the PTS server, as you can see here, and this is the Sorcerer that we made last time. So if you haven't seen it, I would suggest checking it out. And this is something that I really like. I was really proud of kind of how it came up. Got really good damage, and it's just a solid build all around. So now that we've got kind of everything on, I'll give a couple minutes for people to find the stream. What we did last week, so like on Wednesday, it's been a couple of days, is we made this open source Sorcerer using the Mastery system, and I want to kind of showcase what it is and then really focus on the Warden this one, because I love Warden, and I just want to kind of show you how it all works. So first and foremost, what is Class Masteries? Class Masteries is a brand new system coming to the Elder Scrolls Online in update 50. And this system allows you to gain additional perks and passes if you don't subclass. The idea is that if you don't subclass, you should have slightly more power, kind of bridge the gap between a pure class and a subclass build. So this is a build that we did finish on the Sorcerer, and I can show you the stats and the kind of tooltips. So let's just get into combat quickly. For an open source build, we've got 50k magic, which is like really high. And then when we use our skills, we get 5,000 spell damage. So for an open source sorcerer, this is an absolute bucket load of damage. It is obscene how hard we actually hit, and you might see those numbers go down a little bit. When you're actually in fighting, they don't go down at all. Like, they stay there for the whole time. It is really good. The way in which the subclass and like the class masteries work is that if you do keep the pure class, you get these cool things down here. So for the Sorcerer for PvP, we will really focus on just maximizing our damage and our sustain. Font of Power increases your damage done for the more magic you have. So the higher your magicka, the bigger the boost you get. And essentially, because we stack magic on a Sorcerer, we get an absolute bucket load of power out of this passive, which is obscene. So if you look at our damage, we have 3,900, and if we use a Sorcerer ability, it's at 4,700. It is 800 spell damage in one button. And then when you actually weave in, it goes up even higher, and it goes to almost 5,000, which is, as you can see, is very tasty. On top of that, you also then get sustained passives and other useful ones. So for the Sorcerer, we chose to go with Conservation of Energy. This basically makes your blood magic work for every skill, so it's a free heal. Every skill will heal you and give you resources back. It's super broken, like in an obscene way. It's so strong. This is like 1,800 recovery in a passive. It is that good. We then have extra damage if you want to have like a pseudo execute, really nice there. Calculated defense, which is just bigger shield, always nice. And then group shields. So the Sorcerer one is all about extra sustain, more spell damage, execute scaling, or just shields to support people. So that's kind of where we got with the Sorcerer last time. And for like tooltips and things, when we buff up, you can see like our damage is really high. So I'll just wait for our Sword to proc. There we go. So it's a 12,000, almost 13,000 shocking thing with a 3k, so that's like 16,000 spammable. And then we've got about 13k here, so you can stack these together and we've overloaded another 13k. It is a lot of burst for an open source build. I'm going to just see if I can find somebody to fight on the PTS just to show you the build as well. And you can see how it all works. And then we'll spend this one trying to make the Warden and really breaking down how the Masteries work on that class. And are they actually worth it? Because Warden's quite a good class of mastery and like subclass away from. So I don't know. That's next. He's got a cool little thing on his name. I don't think there's any other players, and he doesn't look like he has this set up. You find at this kind of point in the PTS, it's hard to find people. I don't think he has anything on. A cool skin. Yeah, I don't think we're going to get a duel. So we're going to just quickly switch out. And then I'll kind of showcase this later on if we can find somebody else on the PTS to duel and fight. But we're going to hop into the Warden. And I want to spend this stream setting up the Warden base class and use the Mastery. I haven't made a Warden video in quite some time. So I'm really excited to get one out. And this will give you kind of a sneak peek of where I'm wanting to go with the build and kind of what I think will work. As always, if you get any questions, let me know in the chat. I'll do my best to answer. So looking at the Warden and what we have access to, their class masteries are a little interesting because they focus on like damage done rather than buffing your damage. So we have Thunder's Maw, which increases essentially the crit damage people take. We put Major Brittle on them, and that means they take 20% more crit damage. It's a big amount of bonus damage. We have Wild Adaptation. This gives us 333 weapon and spell damage. And this is per status effect. So if you run Elemental Susceptibility, it's a big damage boost. So you kind of want to run this. We then have Glacial Obstinance. It upgrades Bonds of Nature to also activate while casting Witch's Embrace and give 15% weapon and spell damage for 10 seconds if you are at full health after the heal. So this is really nice because it's just a huge amount of bonus damage. And then you have the Greenkeeper's Hide. This makes you take less damage for each status effect on the target. And then Bountiful Harvest increases Nature's Gift to give a major heroism if you heal somebody with it, and it also increases the resource return as well. It's also worth mentioning with the Nature's Gift passive, it did change to now include yourself. So this is like 250 regen or 500 because it can proc every 2 seconds. So that's 500 sustain. And then with this passive down here, it will double that to make it 1000 magic and stamina recovery if you are, for example, using Living Trellis. Because this can fire every second, thus proc this every second, and you're going to get a crazy amount of sustain out of it. So we're going to see what we can throw together build-wise. I'll put in chat whether you want to see an Oakensaw build or do you want to see like a 2-bar. And I'm going to ask you to vote on like, is it Oakensaw Magicka based, so like staff, that kind of thing, or a stamina with like 2H melee, like executes, that kind of stuff. So there'll be a quick poll going up so you can have a look at that. And then whilst that goes, we'll get some of the sets out, what we want to use. And then we'll kind of see what we can make with the mastery system. So first and foremost, I'm going to set it up as a 2-bar, but you can tweak it to a 1-bar quite easily. So on a 2-bar build, you often use a spammable, which could be like Arterial Burst if you're a vampire and magic, or it could be False Pulse or Cliff Razor. Deep Fissure is a staple, it's like non-negotiable. Bird of Prey is here for just free damage and movement. You normally run the Betty on the back bar, and you normally go with Blue Betty if you're Magicka based, or you go for the Stam one if you're Stam based, just for the resource sustain. It's very nice. You would then utilise Frost Cloak and go for Ice Fortress. This gives you minor protection. You would then want to go for a heal over time because Warden doesn't have good burst still. And use something like Living Trellis. This is really good because it heals loads of it's a lot of healing every second, and it's got that additional chunk at the end, so it can be very, very good. People often go with Polar Wind and stack health. So if you go down this route, this will scale of health, so you can't have to really stack health. This one, if no enemies are hit, you then heal for it, so it doesn't really work around people. It's a bit awkward to use. This is like an AoE damage heal. So people often go with this for the healing, because you always get this, whereas this you don't always get. And then I personally normally run Swarm. I quite like Fetter Infection. I think it's quite a good skill. It hits really hard. It does a lot of damage. And you might use something like Mage Light from the Mage Guild. Use Inner Light for just extra crit chance and extra Magicka for more damage. And then the one thing you'll notice is we lack a burst heal. So Warden's always lacked like a big burst heal unless you go for a high HP stack and you use Polar Wind, which can then be viable. I personally don't like doing that. So we're going to have a look at subclassing and scribing and see mainly from the scribing, can we use it? Can the Masteries maybe even help with the healing too? So we'll grab the scribing supplies, they're just down here. Got all the inks, which is perfect. All the grimoires. So that should be everything that we need. And then yeah, if you've joined us, what we're doing is on the PTS week 1, and we're just trying different build ideas for PvP on a Warden. We've looked at Sorcerer at the start briefly, and we're seeing what can we do with a Warden and actually build around that. Now, lots of people use Contingency because it's a fantastic skill. It's got a good heal. The class Mastery or class Flourish this time is still super good, because when you heal, you get this big ring around you that can stun people, and you can also get extra regens. It's just a fantastic skill, like really good skill. Or we could go down Wield Soul and use healing, class Flourish, and then use something like Vitality for even more healing. But this could be like the big burst heal for us that we lack on the build. But this could also be quite nice too. I'm going to go down the Contingency route initially, but I might switch it out if we need a bit more healing power, okay? And then we'll throw on some sets and actually see what everything's looking like skill-wise, set-wise. So when I go through and check, do I have all the skills covered? I always go, do I have a spammable? Yes. Do I have a burst skill? Yes. Do I have a stun or a dot? Or sorry, an execute or a dot? I've got an dot. Do I have access to a stun? The answer is no at the moment. So we're probably going to use Dawnbreaker, because Dawnbreaker is very kind of covers that really nicely. It's a cheap ult, hits very hard, and it stuns people. Now we could go with like Sleet Storm, which did get quite a good buff, and go with Northern Storm, which increases our damage. So this can be quite a nice damage boost. But I want to go with the Dawnbreaker for the instant burst, because I find that more useful. And then spam, I then go, do we have armor buff? Do we have a damage buff? Do we have a burst heal? Do we have a heal over time? And I run what's like a flex. So this could be something that will be, could be an extra dot, it could be an extra debuff. With the changes for the Masteries, if we start thinking about the Masteries we're going to use, if we want to use Wild Adaptation, we do need loads of status effects, which means Elemental Susceptibility probably comes quite a good option, because that's a Burn and Shield Concussion. Add on a glyph of that. You've then got like Poison status with this, for example, or double dot poisons with Poison, and you've got like 5 status effects, so that's an extra 1500 damage. So that's how we'd have to use this. If we use Glacial Obstinance, upgrades Bond to Nature to also activate when casting Winter's Embrace abilities to grant 15% weapon and spell damage if you are full health after the heal. So we don't have many of these, and let's look how long that buff lasts. That's a 10-second buff. The first question is, does that have a cooldown? Okay, so that does not have a cooldown, which is good to know. And it does carry over. Now, does it also work with this? No, so you have to use a Winter's Embrace skill for that to proc, which is interesting. because there's not many good ones that we would use. You don't use this often, in all honesty. Like, use this every 30 seconds. The Arctic Blast is an AoE, but it's not delayed. Like, if this was a delayed AoE like Inhale and the DK, this would be fantastic. Because we could then use this as part of our burst combo and always keep up extra damage. So like, yes, it lasts 20 seconds, it does X amount of damage every 2 seconds, after 2 seconds. And it has a higher chance to apply shield, and it stuns enemies after delay for 3 seconds. Like, it can be good, it's just a passive AoE dot. Just not quite sure if the damage is worth it. But if we need to utilize this passive, we might have to run it, because Impaling Charge just doesn't do enough. Crystallized Slab is good, but I don't want to be casting this every 10 seconds. It's quite excessive. So I might go down this route and then put this here. Put Fetcher on the back bar. So then that way, when I'm on the front bar, I can get this, because this will then proc my thing when I'm at full health. That'd be quite easy to proc this. So I'm just looking at how the class Masteries would work with what we're trying to do. So I do feel like that is a lot of damage, but it seems very awkward to actually maintain. Major Brittle is great, but you then have to also crit to make this work. So you need really high crit chance to get a huge damage boost. I feel like Wild Adaptation might be the smart play. Or loads of sustain. So I'm just thinking, do we go down the sustain? Because this makes Nature's Gift do even more, and it's Major Heroism, which is a lot. Major Heroism is massive. And that would be, I'm assuming that would fire every second, in theory, if we've got Trellis on us. Let's go, I'm going to just find an ad or something to attack me. So we're just going to look for like an NPC or an ad, just to attack us. And I want to see, will that passive automatically proc with Living Trellis? Because if that's the case, that's going to be really, really high ult time, uptime. And Warden does lack a stun. And if we can basically have Dawnbreaker quite reliably, that'll make quite a big difference. So we're just going to pop down, just get attacked by this boss. And our sets are not right, by the way. So we're just using like random skills. Sorry, random sets, but checking the skills. But will this proc the heroism? Yes, it does. Let's proc it again. Yeah, so it looks like it procs it on cooldown. In which case, that will be quite potent. Okay, we can leave that there. So that should disengage in a sec. Okay. So this could be very good. It's a lot of sustain, especially with Living Trellis now. And this is a lot of bonus damage, and it's easy to proc. I wonder if the sustain, let me check the sustain. I'm going to go combat metrics. So if I go to the fight stats and then look for the ult gen, so I'll turn this all off. I'm going to go for the healing. We want the sustain. Resources, okay? So what I'm going to check in a moment is do they like work together? Because some passives work with each other and some don't. So I'm going to quickly check, because this upgrades at Nature's Gift to level 2. This uses Nature's Gift, Bond of Nature. I don't think these would like stack, but sometimes also do weird things. because Bond with Nature is this one. And it doesn't look like they also proc it too. Yeah, because that doesn't do it, but... Oh no, that is! Oh, that's... Okay. That might be easier to sustain then, actually. Alright, I was wrong on that. This is why I read the passives and check. Because it's very easy to get confused with what works with what. So the Glacial Obstinance upgrades Nature's Bond with Nature, which is the Animal Companion one. Anytime your Animal Companion's at end, you heal, which is it's a good passive. It's free healing. But now with this, it gives us 15% damage done, which is massive. But that is a huge amount of damage. If we stack spell damage, that's going to make a big, big difference. So, and because it procs on Winter's Embrace, Animal Companions for free, but we can just do it like that, and we can proc it with wings, so we don't actually need the ice skill, which means I can take this off. So I don't really want to use this. I don't think this would be that good. And I probably would prefer slabs in all honesty. I think they're just more consistent. But we wouldn't need the heroism because we've got that anyway now. And we could go for this one, which is actually a bit of flexion and a bit of damage. Okay, I'm going to go hop back to my house. I might be able to do this here actually. Let me jump here. I'll see if I can do it at the Way Shrine. Because I might be able to get some jewels and some fights at the same time. And just checking the poll on YouTube. It's split between like Oaken Magicka, Oaken Stamina and 2-bar Magicka. So if there's a strong preference, I'll go for one of them obviously. That looks cool. The werewolf looks very cool. So let's think about the gear that we can use, because we're just using random stuff in all honesty. So like the most obvious thing to use is a defense set and using like Rally and Cry. It's really, really strong. And Warden, you're in melee range, so you're often taking damage. But they did buff the class set, Ares Cry. So dealing damage with a light attack applies Eagle Mask to your target for 12 seconds, and Eagle Mask causes the Eagle's Mark causes the Eagle to attack target every 3 seconds. After 3 second delay, dealing X amount. Applying Eagle's Mark grants you Ares Call for 12 seconds, increasing your damage done by 10% against enemies with Eagle's Mark. So this is just like a 10% damage boost, and we get a free dot. It's quite a nice set now. This is something that's worth considering. It's like Pyre Band almost, because it's a lot of damage per tick. This scale is really high, and this damage boost is quite good. But we're going to go and grab the Cyrodiil sets first. Let's go on some Rally and Cry. It's a staple for most builds. And we are going to go for jewelry and the usual stuff. So we're going to weapon, sword and shield, we'll use a sash, and we'll use some jewelry. So sword, shield. And the question is, would this be stronger than a subclass Warden? And that's what we need to check. We've got our Rallying Cry all ready to go. We get one piece trainee, again, because that's this front bar, back bar push. So that's an overland set. Armor of trainee. And we want a heavy armor chest for the Undaunted passives, just more Magicka does help. A little bit more damage, a bit easier to sustain. We then need a monster set, and we need a front bar set. Now, with the class mastery, this is going to give us 250 magic and stamina every second. Because as long as we keep on Living Trellis, which is a 10-second duration, this is going to be firing every second, which is 250 here, plus this 250 here. So it's going to be 500 like regen a second or 1000 recovery every 2 seconds. Which means we can build way more damage because this will carry our sustain. So I don't think we need Wretched Vitality. Like in the past we've used Wretched Vitality and it's been good. So I wonder if we go down the spell damage route and use let's go with mythic item and get I think we're gonna get Monomyth because it's just very, very good mythic. It's just basically Major Force, Minor Berserk, and what we can then do is we could change our animal companion bird of prey to Deceptive Predator, which gives us minor evasion, which reduces damage from DK Whip. DK Whip sucks. Like this will be a 10% damage reduction from that big whip, which will help. And then I think we grab Balorg because I think it's like it's kind of a tried and tested set. It's very, very good. And I don't think there's any particularly good monster sets that would work well for Warden, like with how Warden plays. So I'm gonna go medium. Now I need to actually check something quickly. This is for science. So this glacial obstinance upgrades your Bond of Nature to also activate when casting Winter's Embrace ability, and it's a 15% damage boost. Now, is this 15% boosted by major sorcery? Because if the answer is yes, then it helps to stack that still further, because it kind of just adds to it. So this is 7348 on that segment. 7348, okay? With major sorcery, it is 8161. And this is 8161 with... And then what if we then get the glacial on top? Let's get the glacial on top now. And this is 8492. So that's just the glacial there. So what I now need to do is to get the glacial passive itself without the sorcery and then kind of combine it all. So let my sorcery fall off. Let him disappear. So that's 1, 2. So we've got the glacial passive there. 7666. Hit 1-6. So it does. I think it is scaling with it. I could be wrong, because when I activate this now, it jumps up quite a chunk. It looks like 15% of this tooltip. Because 10% is like 810. So you're looking about 800 and we're looking about 240 roughly, which is kind of that difference. So I don't think this is boosted by a major sorcery. I think this is just a flat boost that adds 15% at the end to whatever your tooltip is. Which means the higher we can get the tooltip, the more we get out of that passive. So we need to really stack spell damage. So Balorg would be a good way to do that for those peak bursts. Where's Balorg helmet? So I'm going to go medium armor then. And then if we're stacking spell damage, I know a lot of people really harp on about Oakfather's Retribution. That's a crafted set. And we can look at it. I've never really found it that decent. We'll just need to Google where it comes from quickly. It's obtained in Cyrodiil. Oh, is it Rules of the Worthy? No, that's the one. I know it is from Cyrodiil. It's a Cyrodiil set. I've got Cyrodiil sets already. There they are. Checking the weight now, sorry. Light armor set. So we can't really use that with Rally. It's this one here. You gain 449 penetration against enemies for each major buff they have. So if we focus on this, yeah, for the moment, major buffs people have. So if we go for our build, we would have major brutality and sorceries, that's 2. Major resolve, that's 3. Major expedition, that's 4. Typically it, I think. So that's like 1800, roughly. 1800 pen. That's 4 times. And then if you got the minor buffs, the 2, 3, 4 piece is nice. I do wonder whether we go down the route of Shattered Fate is crafted. We can make it in medium armor, and whether that's more total damage. Because if we did this, we would have no resistances. We'd be super, super squishy. Because yes, we've got Rally and Cry, which will help us for like crit resist. Our actual base armor would be really, really low. So I'm not too sure about that. What is the... I think it's Armor of Truth. Let's double check its name. I think it's Armor of Truth. This is a set that when you set somebody off balance, I think it is. Yeah, when you set somebody off balance, you get a 460 weapon damage boost. And if we're using the Cliff Razor, which it sets off balance quite easily, and you get this bonus damage here, and then if you use it again, it like does it 5 times, so get a stupid amount of damage. With Armor of Truth, I think that might have some good synergy with the two. Heavy armor set, which is interesting. So let's get that. That's a dungeon set. And it's base game. Dungeon, base game. I think it's from Darkshade Caverns. Yeah, when you deal damage to the enemy who's off balance, you gain 460 weapon and spell damage, which is a lot of spell damage. There's not many sets that give you that much base on a 5-piece bonus. So we would use weapons, legs, chest. I can change the trainee one out. And I'll probably put on 1 piece of jewellery. I'll use a lightning staff. Although like a melee would be better still. Rather than there, we can put trainee anywhere. That just slots in easily. Let's get Rally and Cry on the hands. So I'm just focusing on getting this stuff together. Then that turns on. That turns off. If we put on Truth here, this turns on. And then we got 1 piece feet, which would just be trainee medium armor. And again, I know these are like really using. I Armor of Truth is quite an unconventional set to use, in all honesty. I do appreciate that. Oh, Cozy says Twice Fang and Shattered Fate. Oh, let's go Twice Fang. Twice Fang Serpent. Adds 2.3k pen. When you deal damage, your offensive pen is increased by 660 for 5 seconds, second 5 times. So you get an extra 3k on top of that. So it's 5,300 pen, 5,600 pen roughly on that 5 piece. Plus the 1,400. So it's about 7,000 pen and 129 weapon and spell damage. I think that the pen Twice Fang or Shattered would probably be more than Truth, but Truth gives us bigger heals. And that's kind of where my thinking's going. I do like the look of that. I might try that as well. That's quite a good shout. Let's go get our champion points gone quickly. And these are like my initial thoughts. Like looking at the Masteries, I think that sustain one from Nature's Gift is going to be very, very useful. To have 1,000 regen built in on passive is pretty good. You know what I mean? So we need direct damage, critical damage. This is always good on Warden. Wrathful Strikes is buffs like Cliff Racer, it buffs a single target. I want Focus Mending because you need healing. And then for the red ones, I always go for Celerity. I really like speed. I find speed in PvP is like really good for defense. If you can move and not get hit, you stay alive. You normally go with Sustained by Suffering, that's quite a standard one, and Pain's Refuge. So this is just lots of damage, cost reduction from like sprint and stuff. And this is a lot of free regens when you're under a status effect, which is all of the time in PvP. And we could put on like Fortified Weight. I'll probably go Vitality because you get minor toughness and you can boost that 1400 with minor toughness still. So 32k health, we could push that like way higher, 32k mag. Let's do our glyphs now because these are just like garbage. And we need to get some food on a Mundus Stone. So let's get our... I'm going to use Tri Potions, you know that. This is a damn build. Do I have the lunchbox thing out? Yes, I do. The question is, would you go Vampire on it or not? I know everybody's a DK. DK's hit really, really hard. Sugar Scars. I think I have that on me already then. So just making sure I've got that, because I want that big stample, that really helps. Mundus wise, I'd probably go with the Lover. And then it gives you the option to go to the Atronach if you want to go in, like BGs and you need a bit of extra sustain. Let's get some glyphs now. So on the weapon glyph, I'll probably use double dot poisons to be honest. But I'll probably put on weapon damage to begin with. And I'm going to go with for magical ones. And on the body, I'm going to go prismatic on 3 and magical on the rest. But I might prismatic the others because the extra stample is nice. And then we need to change all our glyphs. This would go sharpened. This would be like defending. Or you can, if you want, go for powered for extra healing. It's not much, but it does actually add up quite quick. So this is good if you want to like try and burst it all back quicker. So kind of useful. We'll go for like in pen and well fed. I'm just going to put an in pen for the base just because it doesn't really impact the stats. Reinforce on the chest and on the legs because they're both the heavy armor ones. We're going to try and get those resistances high. Make the other bits into in pen. And then the jewelry, let's infuse all of these. And then I want to see how easy can I sustain this. I've played Warden a lot, and I normally have about 2,000 mag regen. So we have 700, which sounds really low. I do wonder how strong Nature's Gift is with the class mastery, and whether that's going to be enough to keep us sustaining. Let's go get our tribe potions on. So many things, so good. So what's our weapon damage? We've got 6.5k spell and weapon damage, which is a 21k deep fissure. That's massive. Okay, that's a huge deep fissure, and that Dawnbreaker. Let's keep our damage on. It's a big Dawnbreaker in it, and a big deep fissure. And even this Cliff Racer is doing a lot of damage. $6.5k. This definitely feels like the damage will be there. Like with the mastery, I don't think we're gonna get a fight with it, sadly, because that's not even without Balorg. And yes, we've got another 9k pen from Deep Fissure. But let's put on our Warden trees. I love Hidden Thicket. Now we could swap Truth. What's our resistance like? Let's buff up. We've got this. Now our base regens are so low that I reckon we go for a resolve on that. Or actually, I'm probably going to drop the bees and use just vigor. Like with this much weapon and spell damage, I think this vigor would actually be really huge. It's a 28k vigor. Like that is pretty big. Okay, I'm going to see if I can get a fight over at the Way Shrine. I don't think I will. And I will just check if anybody's on the guilds. Again, I don't think so. Oh, there's somebody on here. He's in the rift. He looks busy. So we'll go here. If not, we'll hop into IC. And I want to just check how good is that upgrade to Nature's Gift. Because we have 3 damage glyphs, all infused. I imagine this place will be pretty empty, yeah. Sorry about that. We're going to hop into IC then, because there's like nobody here. Okay, so we're going to hop it into IC, and this will just give us a baseline of the sustain, really. Star says I should try Riften. Yes, I will in a second. If you can show me where. Obviously, the PTS server always has people in weird places. I reckon with that Rallying Cry, we're going to have like 7,000 weapon damage, which is actually obscene. And that's before Balorg. With Balorg, we're probably on about 8k. Which I want to just see how much weapon damage we have and how big the tooltip goes. Because you'd have like 17, 18k pen base, and with Balorg like 30k pen. When you log in, the people were in Galumba. I will check there though, because I would like to know. So first thing I want to check is, let me just pull all this stuff here. How good is Nature's Gift? Now that I've got that on me, I'm going to get hit every single second. What's my sustain looking like? I'm just wanting to see the sustain. Doesn't feel too bad. And then what I do is I want to then see how big my damage can go up to. Okay, we'll do it against this dude here. Yeah, 7.2k. That is a big amount of weapon and spell damage. That's a huge amount of spell damage, that is. Let me find a boss, because they will give more of a fight. There he is. I assume I've got my weapon damage passives in. Should do normally. Yeah, yeah, that's all in. Great. So I want to see, like, basic how much can I sustain this while I'm fighting here. Yeah, so you need to keep the vines on, it looks like. Now, I want to see how much sustain that we will get out of the thing. But hopefully that will show us. That's contingency. I wonder if I got the thing off in PvP. Yeah, that's so annoying. So I need to do that again quickly. So I want to check basically how much does that passive actually give you when there's lots of stuff hitting you. Like, you normally have a dot in PvP. If I can kind of get essentially when I'm being hit every single second. I'll be able to proc this passive loads like you would in a normal fight. In PvP you would have it proccing almost every single second. So the question is it more like 700 regen, or is it more like 1,000, or is it actually even less and like 550? Okay, we're going to die now, and then we can have a look on our combat metrics just to work that out. Because normally in PvP you'd have like burn and shield concuss because people hit you with susceptibility. You often have like a double or like a dot on you or something, so you're often taking damage every 1 second. And in group play you can chuck that on somebody else. So let's see if it shows it. Nature's Gift there, Bountiful Harvest. I think that's what the passive is called now. I think it's called Bountiful Harvest. Yeah, so it has a separate track, which is nice. So that's 1 second. That was 2. Then at 3. Nature's Gift. That was 5.5. 7. 8. It looks like that passive's actually firing every 2 to 3 seconds, which means that sustain isn't that useful. Because if it's firing every 2 or 3 seconds, yes, it's a lot of regen at once. It's not going to be consistent enough, which is worth checking, like for sure, because if we were building around that, giving us the sustain, we won't be able to do it. I will check the placement staff, Idon said. So typically what happens on PTS, people duel or fight where the zones is. But he said try the rift, and hopefully we can find people there. Because I want to see how good is that actual sustain passive. It sounds pretty good on paper. Oh, there are people here. Awesome. I like his little cool thing. It's good that we got where people are fighting. That's good to see. So many werewolves. Okay. So we're going to just check our sustain basically against this person. So what? How much sustain do we get out of that? It's got cut and defense. That static reverberation has tons of damage. So how much sustain did we get out of it? I don't think we get lots from that passive. 4 second, nature gives 5 second, nature gives 6 seconds, nature gives 8. Yeah, so it's about 1.5 seconds. Everybody's a werewolf. That reverberation is disgusting. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that Warden passive is not as good as I was hoping it was. This one here. The heroism is great. So it depends on, do we want it for the Warden, for the healing, or not? We'll fight properly, we'll give it a go. Hey, it's him. Yeah, that. Oh, that's passive there. Disgusted. Yeah, I think. If I. Any oops. I think we need more sustain and more defense, which is like kind of what I want to see. I don't think this passive gives us enough sustain to warrant it. I don't think that's that good though. Because looking at how strong werewolf is, we need to add some more defense to this for sure. There's like no getting around that. He's using normal Warden stuff, he is. And he's on a sulk. Oh, that Dawnbreaker was delayed there, wasn't it, on him? I'm assuming he's on a Magden. Oh, I got him. Okay, we had a lot of burst. We have a lot of burst. That was close. I didn't see that coming. We did hit him. We hit him very hard, didn't we? We hit him for a 10k deep fisher. It's insane though. Our Dawnbreaker's almost ready. It's actually quite nice. Well, I don't have quick cast ground abilities on. I went to put on quick cast ground abilities and didn't fire. I need to change that quick if I'm going to fight. Where is it? It's down here somewhere. It's in gameplay, innit? Where's gameplay? Yeah, we want that on. You don't want that on. Yeah, we have a lot of damage. I just... What's Droopy doing? I'm curious what he's doing, because obviously we killed the Sulk the first go. But as soon as we stopped using Nature's Gift, our sustain just went. Good on Master Lock. So he's got a dot status build. Yeah, the werewolf shenanigans are insane. What's his dots like? Yeah. Their damage on the werewolf is... Whoa. Look at that static reverberation. It's doing like 1100 a tick. I think they're going to put a cooldown on that. So every werewolf for fault, just for context, 17%, 10%, 11%, 11%. Yeah, it's a good. It's about anywhere from 10 to probably 12, 13% DPS. It's pretty solid. Very good on dot builds. Yeah, it looks like everybody's going to be using the same werewolf build. Stack dots on a sorcerer. Yeah. It's the dots. Oh. Yeah, the dot werewolf is nasty. Was he a Sork too, by chance? Savage werewolf. It's good to see like what people are doing. This is what I think the guy what we're using. I want to give the guy a fight because I'm like, he's rolled into the water. That's funny. We'll bring our one bar Sork over in a sec because I want to see it against some of the people. Oh, we got a good combo on him. Got the Mars on him. Yeah. Oh, he's so close to dying. It was so close to dying. Yes, if you've joined, what we've been looking at is the Warden Masteries and kind of how you build around them, and they're okay. I think the Sorcerer ones are probably the strongest out of all of them, from what I've seen. But I'd like to try some of the other classes in a moment. If you have a class or like an idea you want to see tested, if you put it in the chat and I'll do my best to try and make it. Oh, that was a big crit there. Oh, it's so much sustain. I need more sustain. That sustain passive is just not enough. I'll fight this person near. That way we can do Warden v Warden. Because it'd be interesting to see the Battle of the Dens. Yeah, we hit really hard though, don't we? Like really, really hard. Just we're super squishy. Super squishy. I think I will swap that sustain passive. I'll probably drop it and go for a different one. Oh, dirty burst. That is dirty. The burst is like lovely. The damage on it's so good. I don't know if that sustain's worth it. Like we do hit so hard. Oh, that's 2 for 2. It definitely feels like this is viable. Werewolf is just stupidly broke at the moment. In such a good way. We switch build. The question is, what other martial would we use? I'd love it for my trellis scarf. Yeah, I definitely feel like I want a bit more sustain on this. Oh, almost got him. He's a tanky boy though, for sure. Tanky Dawnbreaker. Yeah, I need more sustain on this 100%. We don't. Hey, you right, Jackson? He's a good little warden, though. Other than that. Oh, we got really good burst on him. I definitely feel like I could fight with this. I need more sustain for sure. The ult gen is so nice though with that. Like having major heroes pretty much all with fight is like ridiculous. I'm waiting for his Dawnbreaker. I'm gonna charge mine up. Go for a really big one on him. So if I keep my sustain going. So at 200 ult, I'm gonna try and get to 500. Go for some heavies, just keep that sustain going. Because he's a tanky boy. Not myself, to be fair. I'll wait for his Dawnbreaker, I am. It's going to be in a moment. Oh, he's gone for that one instead, he has. Oh, I missed the shorts on him. That was so close. Like, I went for the kill and I missed the follow up on beetles on him. Big kill there for him. He does a magic back. Yeah, so we'll really rely on that Vines being up. Once Vines is up, our sustain's not terrible. It's not great. So get some sustain back because we are low on sustain. We got good crits on him. Try and get that ult. I'm waiting for his Northern Storm. There you go. You can tell when people are going to do stuff. The last fire damage is like so high. This is going to be like a proper stalemate, isn't it? Go for a stun here. Get some heals going. This has been like a massive, massive fight. Fair play to this dude. Oh, I hit the wrong button. Didn't mean to do that. That's why I stopped attacking him, because I didn't want to like. So I've gone for a huge amount of ult charge. Ah, the dot got me. That was such a close fight. That was very, very close. That was very close. Yeah. Curious of Trials. And Rallying Cry. It's a good... That was very close. The first fight, Jackson, we beat him. Considering our regen, by the way, this is our regen. We have 900 regen. Yeah, I need more regen. Running with 900 magical recovery is ridiculous. It's like the peak burst is insane. Like we caught him on the first one with the burst and like did 25k burst, and this one the dot just did it. I like his Rallying Cry though, and Master's Ice. Master's Ice is something I was considering because it's a really good spammable for Warden. I want to try my Sulk here. But yeah, that was really, like, it's quite cool seeing the Masteries and what you can do, because Warden felt pretty bursty back then, which is nice. It's nice to see that. Where's my Sorcerer? There she is. Right, we can dismiss all that, and then we can hop on over to The Rift, wasn't it? But no, it was good to like see people fight there, which is great. I'll remember that spot. And then on to what like class we look at next. So, there's a poll. This is an Oaken Sword Sorcerer. So it'd be great to see how this does against him, because he's got a good spec. Streaks like Sulk for no reason. Sorcerer, honestly, the Sulk Masteries are like really, really, really good. Really good. So this is an Oaken Sword build, okay? Oh, didn't mean to drop down there. Yeah. Didn't get the camera rotated down. Yeah, for an Oaken Sword build, this is like ridiculous. Yeah, imagine with Haunting Curse. He has so much hit that he does, doesn't he? Yeah, for what my magic ball has not gone down. I need to actually. Waiting for the Northern Storm. There it is. Yeah, this is like really, really good. Yeah, for 1 bar, this is like really, really good. But we are constantly healing. Oh, he's so tanky. I street straight into that, I did. Yeah. What do you guys think for a 1 bar Sulk, by the way? He's gonna go for his Northern Storm, that's what he's been saving up for. Oh, he went for Dawnbreaker instead. He's so tanky. Hey, you're Org. Saw that Dawnbreaker come in. Got my shield on, thank you. And we do hit really, really hard. For like we're doing like 7k chunks to himself every time we spam ball. Oh, that's good. You're doing good. He has so much health to burn through, and he's so tanky. That was a bit weird that it's done. Oh, I got him. Yeah, this is a Oakensoul build, by the way. For 1 bar, this is like ridiculous. Oh, he's at reverberation, he has. Nasty dot. Oh, how much did that hit me with that static reverberation there? You can really, when that's on, you can feel it. I'll show you the damage done. It just ticks. It hits very, very hard. That static reverb is very, very good. Yeah, I tried rolling it. Well, as soon as you get the dots on you, whew, the static's really nasty. I might try that. Because as soon as you get somebody low with dots, it just... Because, like, yes, it looks like it's only a little bit of damage here, but most of those hits were when I was nearly dead. So there was like another 8,000 damage within like 2 seconds. Which is a lot of... It's like Deep Fish at that point. And that was 15,000 in 15 ticks, but it can tick every 0.2 seconds. That's really strong. Like, I thought a few people using it, and that's the thing that I've noticed every single time. Like, if we took out this, yeah, and put on this, I'd be curious to see the difference. Jackson's asking, I did want to ask for an open world Nightblade with Balorg, Rallying Cry. Should I use Orders Wrath for crit and pressure or switch to Wretched Fatality for sustain? I'd probably go Orders. You can get a lot of sustain with Siphoning Strikes. It's very good if you go down that route. I put on the other one. So I've got the static reverberation, whatever it's called. Dead. You see the damage difference? Like it's a lot more damage with that thing. So when they're at the bottom, yeah, it just ticks constantly as soon as you get some dots on them. So yeah, to Jackson and YouTube, I would use Orders Wrath with Rally and Balorg, and then use in the Shadow skill line, you have a skill called Siphoning Strikes. This lets you turn health into resources, and the other one gives you even more resources, and it's just super, super cheap to use. So that's what I would do. There's a poll going, what should we try next? People are saying Necro, which I feel like they're trying to troll me. Because Necro is terrible. Freaking Marstock. Hey, someone said Arcanist. Yes, that person knows what we're on about. Oh, I got him. That was close. Jackson says can't see the pole. That was close. Static. Most recent one. It's not on dots. It's really good. For one bar, I am so chuffed with this build though, because it's really hard to build a one bar build that's decent. I think I'll probably keep the font of power though. But it's just this is a stupid amount of damage. It's like 1,000 spell, 1,000 spell damage in a passive. Let me see if I can. Do you want to look at the werewolf shenanigans? Oh, he wants to duel. Where did it go? He's over there. Yeah, that static thing is so nasty. Ah, oh. Push my shield, it didn't fire. Push the shield. Push the shield, it didn't fire. So when I did the shield roll dodge, it didn't fire. That's the person static there. So it did 11,000. If you look at the combat log, yeah. Let's go right down to the bottom. Let's look at damage taken. Where is it? So if we look here, my shield's absorbed that, so it just ticks so consistently. So like, it's every half second you're getting hit really far, like an extra 2-3k. Pretty nasty. Sork's really good. You just can't get low when you're fighting Sorks. As soon as you get low, you are absolutely buggered. So much of that damage comes from that passive. Yeah. It's static. Oh, brutal. If you get some dots on people, it's so nasty. Because it's constantly, like, it ticks. So in this, if we go for like 2-second window, yeah. So I died in 19.5, yeah. So go to 17, yeah. Hit me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times in 2 seconds. So getting hit 5 times in 2 seconds is quite a lot of damage. Push my shield. My shield did not want to fire for some reason. So if I keep my health nice and high, his static doesn't actually do much damage. It doesn't proc often, but as soon as you get to low health, it does so much damage. And you can see like the difference in damage. Because my health is so much higher, that static is not doing that much damage. That's going to get nerfed for sure. I'm not doing my animation. Yeah. What do you think of that static reverberation? Now that I'm playing more defensively and not going below half health. I'm below half health, so I need to get up quickly, or I'm just going to melt really, really fast. Considering that he is like on a proper dirty spec. Assault's going to be really good next patch. If they leave this as it is. Yeah, the static got me there. It's literally like having Reliquin at max stacks. Or like when they used to have Way of the Fire and before they nerfed it. Honestly, that is... I want to just like how you can have just static, because I want to show like how much it was rocking. So on this last one, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So in that last second, it was 1, 2, 3. It's about 4 procs in that second, so it was like another 4,000 damage almost, which adds up really, really fast. When we look at the poll says to go on a Necro. We'll see if we can do a Necro. And just checking with chat. OP, GTRX and YouTube says he mains Assault and have played since launch. These new Mastery passive have me interested in a setup using crafty 3 queens and death dealers to stat mag and use Font of Power. Font of Power is fantastic. Like so good. I will be definitely using that. No, this is an oaken sword build, and oaken sword is really bad at dueling normally. Like you don't have the survival. So I do think stacking the Magicka for the Font of Power is really powerful in Sorcerer. Like really, really strong for the classic Sorc, if that makes sense. And Jackson says Sorc seems really fun. He's just leveled 1 up recently and wants to try using it in PvP. Sorc is amazing. Like it's the best assassin in the game with subclassing because of the class mastery or the class flourish. Like if I look at the Font of Power passive, we have 3,977. If I buff up, it goes to 4,700. When I actually am in combat, and I'm just like weaving like normal, because our magic climbs higher. It can just go up even more and be like 4,982. And then when all that drops, you'll see it drop it down in a second. So 4,829, it drops down almost 1,000 spell damage. Like, that is how much of a difference it makes with 50k mag. Because when we put this on, we're at 50,000 Magicka. So like, if you literally... And this with an oaken sword build, if you have death dealers, I could probably get 60k. Because it increases it by 1% for every magic you have. I am using Black Gem, Trainee and 3 Queens. And if you look at my Magicka pool, it sounds really stupid, yeah? I think my Magicka pool was like at 100% for almost the entire fight. It never went down. So if I go to the previous one, yeah? But this here isn't accurate because of the constant sustain from the blood magic passive, which is like obscene. We have so much actual sustain. So we're like when we're actively fighting, we're draining 3,500 to 4,000 magic a second, which is a lot. Got 1,500 here as our base regen, and then this passive alone gives you another 901 or 1,800 every 2 seconds. So it's the same as 1,800 base regen, which means we have like 3,000 magical recovery effectively, which is why my magic was just never feeling like I was running out. And you can see it like this. When I do this, yeah, like it's going to take me quite some time to run out of magicka. And I've had my regen buff with my potion. I'm actually keeping that 100% pretty much entirely, and I'm spamming skills. So, do you see like how strong that passive is? Like it is a lot of sustain. That's just with 2k base regen. So we've got like 3,800 magicka recovery, which is why this is dirt cheap. This is dirt cheap. We could probably spam this, I reckon, with a potion. Let's try that. Yeah, we're not far off being able to sustain this indefinitely. That is proccing the blood magic. I think it is. Yeah, it is. But you saw like how many shields we did in a row there. It is like, that is obscene to be able to do that many shields in a row. But each one is like, it's about a 12, 13k shield in PvP. It's massive. The OP says classic shield stack Sulk. Yeah, 100%. So like conservation of energy, it's super broken. Like this is really busted. We then have font of power, which is very good. I don't think this is that bad though. I think it's on the power of all the other classes. It feels similar. Static reverberation is just obscene. This is stupidly broke. Like this is up there with conservation of energy on like, which is the most strong. This basically makes you heal every second. Literally every time you do something, you get 3,200 health. So about 1,600 health every second in PvP. And this works on roll dodge, on bash, on skill use. So anything that is an action, this will proc. I honestly wouldn't. If I go to the duels when I was fighting the other people, and like bearing in mind we're on an Oakensaw build, I think this is when I was fighting, yeah. But look at healing received. This is my blood magic. This did 201,000 healing. So I had an extra 201,000 healing for that fight that I wouldn't have had because of this passive. Because this is now proccing on every single skill. And if you go to the fight before, again, it's like 21% on my healing. The shield obviously skews it. And it can crit, and it's like 1,700 on average in PvP. It's really strong. On this fight against this dude, it was 47% on my healing. And if you take away the shield, because shield's not healing, but it kind of is. You know, it's a big chunk of your healing, this one passive. It's so strong, but it's constantly up there. So what makes this really nice is that whenever we're fighting, this passive makes every skill you do proc this, which means everything you do gives you health. And on top of that, it gives you an extra 900 recovery per use, or 1,800 if you're using a skill every second, regen. So you're getting like 900 health, 300 stamina, and like 1,600 health in PvP. So 900 magicka, 3 stam, and 1,600 health in PvP. Every single skill. That's 900 stamina. 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 You can do them. You can bash them together. If you're bash even, you're going to proc it twice. Like it's really strong. Like, really strong. So, Yeah, the extra shield I don't think is needed. Because if you go for the extra shield, it does work for every half second, and I did test it, and it's nice. But you lose so much sustain, I don't think this is worth it. We can go back and fight people with it, because you get 2 shields. But it only lasts half a second, and that's the problem. Because your spammable is not crystal weapon, you're then kind of stuck. Like if I did this maybe, and then I did Haunting Curse, maybe if I did this is maybe how you'd use that passive. Because then you're getting an extra 5,000 health every time in PvP. Just not sure. To be that's massive tooltip. 17k, that's huge. But then at the same time, the spammable's like 17k. If you look at Shock and Soul, it's some soul magic. That was 17 we were buffed, by the way. Let's buff up. So this is 16,000. This is 12,000, add 3,000, 15,000 is 1,000 less than Haunting Curse, but we can do this every second. So I wouldn't go down the route of that shield one unless you're a 2-bar build. Then it might be worth it. But then you lose this here, and this is so good. So Oakensaw, this is like Oakensaw. This is just good for all Sorks. This is great for dot Sorks if you're using like Elemental Susceptibility, Rend and Slash, Hurricane. When people get low, this procs really, really quick. I don't know if it scales based on your damage. We can check that quickly. But I would stress that some of these passive won't go live. So like if you're wanting to go, oh, what's going to be really OP? I can see this getting toned down. Like people have already said on the forums, this is too strong. So that's 2,000 damage. Now it's gone up again. It's now 2,100. So this does scale off damage. The question is, does it scale off max resource? OPC says the best offense is a good defense. That's my current problem, is that I always go on the defense and I can't complete a combo. Well, that's what I found normally, but this here, like the amount of healing this gives you is insane. Like, it actually is insane. So I can't stress how good this is. And this gives you survivability, because every time you're doing damage, you're healing. If you imagine you play like DK and use Flame Lash, and you kind of get, if you know how good that is when you attack and you heal while like punch and sweep, it lets you stay in the fight much longer. This does that all of the time for every skill. And because of that, you have the time then to get your combos up. When you're using the shield, you're getting the shield and you're getting this heal, because this will proc the blood magic, which will heal you. And so by having that, your shield is a shield and it's now a very small heal. And so because of all those things, it just adds up really, really fast. I just want to just check if that went up with the max resource. That mastery one. So 1731, I don't think it did. Yeah, so it looks like that static reverberation scales exclusively of weapon and spell damage. Which means when I activate those, then it's going to get higher, yeah. So the higher your weapon and spell damage, the more this will scale, which means this will be really high on, you know, higher weapon stack builds. I am curious, I've done it before, I've got a members build, which I will quickly set up on here. It's a Sorcerer build. It uses Talk of the Last Aided King, and it is disgusting. Like, absolutely disgusting. And I want to see if I can throw it on over here, because with how I set it up before, it had so much magicka and so much weapon and spell damage, it was pretty stupid. So if we go get our pickled fish bowl. Because we've got 2 bars now, we can get back to a normal build. So this would go here. We would then have storm calling surge, so this would go here. Would have lightning form and I would think with hurricane in the end. I would normally use dark version. That was quite good. I need my inner light on that bar. Again, that does help quite a bit. I'll probably put Vigor here. I was going to put that just there for the moment, but it'll probably be Vigor. We might not need Vigor though with that extra healing that we've got, because we've got healing from this, and then healing from all our damage, and the passive as well. So when I did it before, it had about 7,000 weapon and spell damage. So if I go and just get some armor now, it doesn't matter the set. Literally could be medium armor. Perfect. Let me, just before I do this, I don't want to like undo everything I've done. I think this is what I was using before. I'm going to change stuff up quickly. You put the that looks about right what we had before. Should be about 50k. Yeah. Let me just go get the. I'm gonna get the vendor so I can like save my build, because I'm very happy with this as an Oaksor build, and we can always go back to it. But there's a superstar for people curious. Just gonna take a picture myself. And put it in my Discord. People interested. Sorry, I was going to just put on the talk that I used before. It was very, very fun. It literally had like 7,000 weapon and spell damage at normal, which is really, really, really high. Media. At the moment we've got that. We need to get our damage a little higher because this goes loads. Let's change those to be arcane. And I'm going to put on all the glyphs that I had before, okay? We need magicka damage. Lots of magical ones. But I maxed it. Well, I think the chest actually gave you more magicka. If I remember, I think it was the helmet. They were worth more than the other pieces. We do have a heavy one of them. I do. Change that in a second, okay? You had to build it in a specific way to get the magic really high. So that's on 42k already. And I was doing this to basically just have really, really high magicka, but I want to see how high we can get our damage and go like glass cannon. Let me chart those. 44 magicka. 48, 6k spell damage, which is pretty tasty. And that's not even buffed yet. Yeah, 7,000 spell damage. That is obscene. Now, how nasty is that? That's 3k damage every 2.2 seconds. I do think I'll probably go with Death Dealers though. Yeah, so I've got the magic from there. There was a Sorcerer passive down here, if I remember. Yeah, that's always on now. We used to use this, but they changed this. So we'll probably go for that one. What's our sustain like? So that's not too bad because you got that passive on that other thing. That would really help us out. I think we were just Inferno for a free dot anyway. The 7,000 spell damage is pretty nuts. I want to go see if there's people there, because I want to just like super squishy, but we are going to crutch massively on this and just see the difference. Did the other dude go? Everybody's such a werewolf. So many werewolves. Because I wonder if this is going to be a damage patch. Yeah, werewolf is like nuts. I just want to see how much damage we have. Pickings on. I feel like the other one will be better just for more survivability. Molten Whip was good though. I want to swap that out for a set though. and put this on. I just want to see like how good this is with Hurricane and status effects. Because when I've used it, it's been pretty solid. Especially when people have used it against me, it does so much damage. Yeah, it's just werewolf. Dirty. It does so much damage, werewolf. Oh my god, so much. They're gonna nerf the hell out of that, aren't they? Blood Magic is doing some good healing. That's 15k healing in that 13 fights, 14 fights a second. Look at damage received, just for heads up. It does so much. But Deadlands as well. It's interesting with Deadlands. Savage Werewolf does loads. It seems like Werewolf is going to be the meta next patch. Werewolf DK. Yeah, that Werewolf looks very, very strong. As soon as you get low, that static on you, oof, it does so much damage. That bit there. Yeah, that static reverberation is super, super strong. Super, super strong. But you have to run a dot build. If you run a dot build, it is really, really nasty. I would like to not be CC locked, thank you. Yeah. This has not enough survivability. Let me switch I want to switch to the 1x1. I do. Let me see if I can buy the assistant. In an upgrade. It says I have him. Collectibles. It's interesting to see like the oak and the Torque hits so hard, but because of how much burst there is, I guess. It is pretty noticeable how hard people are hitting. I'll put this one back on. And then we'll switch class in a second, okay? Hey, look at Chris becoming a silver donor. That's very generous of you, mate. I'm just fighting Mr. Warden, man. Ah, For an Oakazor build, I love this. I absolutely love this build. But no, you really appreciate that, Chris. That's very generous of you. And that's with the weaker damage, because our static reverberation is on, but it doesn't... Oh, did the Mastery switch? Actually, I think it should have. Oh, it did. Awesome. Yeah, we'll do one more. And then we'll go one more. Let's go. Oh, look at the burst. The alpha burst is just disgusting. Oh, the damage. I look at Og in Twitch, subscribing to tier 1. It's really kind of you, mate. Oh, I love this. I love this Silk so much. Like, for a 1-bar build, this is going to be nuts. This is like, I'm so happy with this. So happy. But we need to try Necro. I know people want to see it. I'm not convinced on the Necromancer. But I do think 2-bar Sulk, using Death Dealer's feet, chucking in the Masteries of Conservation of Power, Conservation of Energy, Font of Power, you're going to have crazy damage, like an extra probably 1300 spell damage, and tons more to sustain them. Got my shield. Yeah, against like normal builds, this is really decent. Just stuck in that charm. I thought it was going to go for a roll. I'm very happy with this. You'll constantly see we're hitting at 14-4-7. Oh. He's like holding on for dear life, isn't he? It. Ah, got him. got him. Oh, it's like so good. Our mag sustain is ridiculous. Like, we are not running out of magicka. What have my glyphs? Like, I reckon we could probably turn this off. Let's turn this off. I'm gonna fight him again. So we've turned off our 5-piece set, and I wonder if we just run Crafty Alfiq instead. So I want to see what is our sustain like now. I don't think we need the 3 queens, to be honest. I'll probably just chuck and craft the Alfiq instead and go for even more damage. Yeah, so we are getting a net drain, but that's kind of expected. We're spamming so much, so it's kind of what I'd expect. But like literally, look at the pressure. The healing that comes from blood magic, that constant 1500 health every second. It's basically having vigor on all of the time. That was a good Dawnbreaker by him. Very good Dawnbreaker. Yeah, we have no sustain issues, do we? What do you guys think of the 1-bar assault then? Because I reckon we could put on Crafty Alfiq to get significantly more damage and a bigger shield. That charm skill is so annoying to fight against. Ah, oh, he's so tanky. Remember, for context, he's got like max resistance, so you might be going over the damage. He's got like city resistance. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, this is like decent. It's really easy to play as well. But the healing power is just so much better than it was. He has a lot of healing as well, this dude, doesn't he? I'm so determined to kill it though. Got him. Got him. Got him. Oh, I love it. 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 Sorry, Silk feels like it's going to be so good next patch. But we do need to hop onto the Necro. So, I don't think the next is good. I really don't think the Necro is good, but we'll have a look. Yeah, we're gonna make a Necro because it's the most popular on the poll. And then I'm curious to see what kind of Necro do you want? Like mag or stam, melee or like range basically. So mag range, mag melee. If it's mag melee, it'd be like vampire for example, and if it's stam range, bow. Don't know why you did that, but and then stam melee will be like 2H. So what kind of Necro should we make? Add them to a friend list. I'm going to go switch, send my little friend invite. And then we're going to try a Necro. I don't know what we'll get. The polls, like, at the moment, it's split 3 ways. So that's we'll see. So yeah, the Necro. So if you've not seen the Necro Masteries, they're really cool thematically, and I don't want to like diss Sauce. I think what they're trying to do for this stuff, I think is really good. I really like the direction they're going with the Masteries, with the class set changes, and just the quality of life improvements and the refreshes. I think they're all really, really good. I just feel Necro has a lot of issues wrong with its kit for PvP, and that's going to hold it back. But I'm hoping that I could be wrong with this. Like, I really hope that maybe we strike like gold with this, and we go, actually, this is what we can now use, because I haven't seen many Necromancers in PvP recently. Well, actually, for quite a long time, to be honest. So, yeah, let's see what we can do. Jackson said, I'd like to go back and see what I missed from your Warden testing. The TLDR, Jackson, is Warden has some really cool stuff. A lot more damage than before. So as a magical Warden, you can almost one-shot or burst people like before. So like that Deep Fissure, Dawnbreaker, Cliff Racer combo, 25-30k damage. Really nice. And I landed on a guy in a jaw and I did like 26k to him. I just blew him up. It was really good. And he was on a tanky build. You obviously need things to crit. The other stuff is a bit awkward to use. You have to really lean into like status effects. So like elemental susceptibility, cut and dive if you want bleed. So if you, by the time you're doing that, you're shifting away from a magical Warden, which I like personally. I don't think that one's that good and doesn't buff healing. So a lot of their things don't really boost healing, whereas the Sorcerer is spell damage. So I will hop onto it at the end, just to kind of show people what we did. With the class masteries on the Necromancer, we have some interesting ones, okay? So a lot of these feel like, and I, again, don't want to diss people, it feels like this is PvE in mind, because the corpse mechanics just don't work in PvP. So you've got something called Nothing Wasted, and it basically upgrades rank 2 of corpse consumption to also grant a stack of Nothing Wasted for 10 seconds, which increases your max health and spell damage by 2%, and it stacks 10 times. Now, with this, if you go to corpse consumption, okay, where is that? And that is in the Living Death. When you consume a corpse, you generate 10 ultimate. Now, this basically is like Death Dealer's Feat. The challenge you have is, do you generate enough corpses? Now, if you look at Blast Bones, you're going to generate 1 from this, like consistently. You do not generate any from your spammable. You don't really generate anything from this. You generate one from this every 20 seconds. Your armor, if you cast Necromancer, you cast a corpse consume ability on yourself. So like, when you look at these things, there's not much that actually really helps you like generate corpses for PvP. That's what I found in the past. So a lot of these really rely on corpses. I don't know how good this is. We then have a Malevolent Promise. It upgrades rank 2 of corpse consumption to mark the closest non-player enemy with Death Touch for 6 seconds, allowing you to cast a corpse consuming ability on them. If you notice, it says a non-player, so this will not work in PvP. So like that's just, it's not even an option for us. We then have Cycle Unending. It upgrades rank 2 of reusable parts to grant Cycle Unending for 25 seconds, increasing your damage done by 1% for every 1% health you have more than your target. The damage bonus caps at 25% or 12% against players. So this is a 12% damage boost. The Warden, for example, had a 15% damage boost on just everything with one of their passives. So like this is weaker in PvP than the Warden. You then have Pound of Flesh. When you take damage, you have a 1% chance to heal for 2.6k and restore 5% of your missing stam up to once a second. This chance increases by 1% for every missing health you have. This is healing that is less than the Sorcerer's Blood Magic one, and it only works when you're low health. You then have Fail's Forfeit. When you're in combat, directly healing a target below 50% health relinquishes them from Death's Clutches and allows you to cast a corpse consuming ability against them for within 10 seconds, up to once every second, and consuming or replacing this effect grants the target 2 ultimate. So this is an ult generator. So we will try a Necromancer, but I don't really know how much of these will really fix the kit, in all honesty, for PvP. This is not going to work because the problem is that this needs corpses and there's not enough corpses, in my opinion. This one doesn't work against players. This one is going to help, don't get me wrong, but actually it's still less than some of the other classes, so this needs a buff, in my opinion. This, the chance is cool, the healing is cool. I think the healing should be double this. There should be like 5,000 roughly. But then in PvP it's obviously half, so this will be the PvP value. Because otherwise the Sorcerer one is just more healing and it's easier to do on every single skill. At which point this is just awkward and it's just a weaker Sorcerer one. And this one is ult gen is okay for what it's meant to do. So for us, for PvP, we basically have a choice of nothing wasted. Maybe Cycle Unending, because this isn't going to do much and that's going to do nothing for us. So we'll try these two. We're going to see what corpses can we generate reliably. So we would normally use Blighted Blast Bones if you're going as a damage dealer. This creates corpse on death, so that's one corpse we can possibly use. This creates a corpse if you're in combat. We'll probably go with Skeletal Archer because it hits harder, it scales the damage, whereas this is an AoE. Both give us damage buff, so that's our damage buff sorted. This just increases damage done, but you need a corpse to use it, so again, not that great. This doesn't make a corpse. If cast during combat, you can cast a corpse consume ability on yourself. So again, that doesn't actually make a corpse. So we need corpses. Now, let's see if that will count. So that looks like that counts. Yeah, we're living corpse. If I do that again. Okay, so that's the Cycle Unending. So I'm just trying to work out how it works. Because we need to find something that consumes corpses, I think, for this to work. Because we didn't get nothing wasted. So we need to get a corpse consuming ability. Because that doesn't consume corpses. Do you see where I'm struggling with this? No. I know like some of these might use that, that's quite decent. Go for intensive, that's pretty good. We could also use that for just a corpse ability there. Again, I'm really struggling to see how you can make this work. Like, I don't know if, not to be like downer, really struggling. But I know we could obviously use this, and this is a decent heal, but it's not as big. This is your burst, you need, this is better for PvP. If you've got any ideas, I'll be more than willing to obviously hear people out. That just creates a corpse. We need something to consume corpses. Like, it feels like this is a really weird Arcanist, because the Arcanist has a very clear consumption skill for PvP. You've got Beam, you've got Flay, you've got the Tentacular Dread. So you've got a good burst skill that can use your Crux. This doesn't feel like it. This doesn't use corpses to like amplify its damage. This consumes one, but it's not a big enough damage boost. So let me just see when that comes. Yeah, so I got one stack and it's only 10 seconds. That's 2. It just feels like really, really awkward. 3. It feels like it's too hard to use in PvP, these masteries. Again, I don't want to be Mr. Negative. So I'm going to have a look at the class mastery sets in a moment from Infinite Archive and just see if there's anything we can do with those. Because maybe they will help us. Because having the extra resource is really nice. And with like Death Dealer's Feat, it could be really viable. But we need an easier way to consume those corpses quickly, because they're quite hard to maintain and use in every real fight. Is my like initial reaction to this. Yeah, that doesn't help us in any way. Don't think this consumes corpses. Oop. That doesn't. There's not many corpse consuming skills, is there actually? Just when you go through it, you don't realise how few there are. Like, you got this one which has a. You can also use this, and this is quite good. But that's quite a decent one. Again, like, let's go for the class sets. Jackson was saying, going to the Warden a minute ago, is what he does on his Warden is very similar to what I do, but he uses Ice Comet instead of Dawnbreaker. Yeah, I use Dawnbreaker because it's cheaper and it's a stun that I can use more reliably, but I would Ice Comet just for thematics. It's really cool, like literally. Class sets. Let's look at what we got from here, okay? Sorcerer, Corpse Buster. Consuming a corpse causes the corpse to explode, dealing damage, reducing pen. See, this is cool, but we don't have a corpse consumer that I can find. That's Warden, that's Sorcerer. Casting a Bone Tyrant ability. While in combat, grants you Beautiful Corpse. This lets you increase your healing. Casting a Corpse consumer ability consumes Beautiful Corpse and treats you as a corpse. Again, that doesn't give us, it doesn't consume corpses for us, that's what we need. Nope. 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 Yeah, I don't see how we can do much more than what we can already do with these masteries for PvP. This you can't really use reliably in PvP because you've only got coil that you'd actually use, or maybe tether, like shock and siphon, because you can like consume this and do like detonate and siphon, which is quite fun. Or even this is okay, it's just free regen, it's not a bad one to have. But you might have to maybe use coils instead. That's the only thing I can think of. Again, they last. It's only 5 seconds. Do you lose 1 stack or all stacks? 1, 2. You lose all stacks. You lose every stack. That's really nasty. It's cool you can cast it on yourself, though. That is cool. But yeah, if you were going to do a Necromancer, I'm not going to spend much more time on this just because I don't think there's much more we can do. But if I were to run a Necromancer, I'd probably go down the route of Rallying Cry back bar. You need the defense, in all honesty, and go for something like Shattered Fate front bar, or Oak Fathers, or Tri-Fang Serpent front bar. Use Death Dealer's Feet as the mythic rather than like Monomyth if you're going to try and use the Masteries. And then I'll probably use like Magma Incarnate for just a bit more recovery and a bit more damage, and you get some armor too. That's probably what I'd do on this. And I'd use like False Pulse, Blast Bones, Skeletal as my damage buff, Siphon because I need a consumer. I'd have Meteor here or Dawnbreaker. I'd have Inner Light on this bar, Armor buff, Burst Steel, Heal over time, change it to be Vigor, Spirit Guardian. And that's what I'd do as a Necromancer. Mastery wise, I'd try and use this. This is like the better one we can see. But the rest of them are just pretty mid. Which I know sounds really like disappointing. I'm going to switch back to the Warden. And then I want to look at Nightblade. Because I think Nightblade has some cool stuff we could do with it. And Arcanist especially. I'm going to switch to the Warden quick. Just so Jackson that. But yeah, I'm going to put a poll up to say, do you think Necromancer is still pretty naff? When we say naff in the UK, we mean like pretty rubbish. Or like terrible. So, is Necro in PvP still there? So I'm going to put a poll up really quick. And it's on YouTube. I don't know how to do it on Twitch, sorry. But basically, what do you think? What character is this? This is meant to be my Warden. I went on to my werewolf. I wasn't reading it. But yeah, we had a look at the Necromancer, and I'm just not convinced. I'm really sorry. There he is. Like, I'm really, really sorry. I'm just not convinced by it. And I don't want to sway people's, but you've seen it. I can't see how you build it any differently than what we can already do. And what we can already do isn't good. Like, in all honesty. For this Warden, what we're doing, by the way, we were using the Glacial Obstinance. This gives you loads of extra damage, which is great. And Bountiful Harvest, which gives you loads of sustain. This isn't as good as I hoped. It procs kind of every 1.5 seconds to 2 seconds. So it's roughly about 120 magical recovery if you kind of averaged it out, which is nice. The heroism was always on. So I might swap this out personally and maybe go for Wild Adaptation. And then we'll then have to switch out like slabs for... Probably switch out slabs for elemental susceptibility, because we'll then get another 900 weapon and spell damage on the target, which is pretty big, in all honesty. Or we go for Thunder's Maw, because this procs chilled automatically. Down here, we will get major and minor brittle, which will be a 30% crit boost, which is huge. If we crit, we're going to absolutely melt people. Like, it is a massive amount of bonus damage. It's basically Major Force, and we know how good Major Force is. So I will probably drop Bountiful Harvest, and I'd run Thunder's Maw if you don't want to use Elemental Susceptibility and dots, like status effects, sorry. And then if you are going to use status effects like bleeds and poisons and susceptibility, like on a Stamden, for example, with the Vatasham Bat Bar, I would then use this instead, and I'd use these two. A Glacial Obstinance is very good. This basically just gives you more damage when you use any of these skills. So basically use any of these, and you proc it, and there it's procced down here. And this procs like consistently in PvP, and it is a big damage boost. You can fight this dude, I don't know what he's on. Oh, he's on a Necromancer. Oh, something hit me really hard. What was that? Blast bonus hit me for 27k. What that? I want to just check with him why that was, because I've not seen it hit that hard. That was. Is that a crit? Or did it do PvE damage? I think it did PvE damage. Because I've never seen it go that high. Like, ever. Because these are all the damage done. And it's not on here. Like, that is... We'll do that again, because I am... Yeah, even he put it done out. I think if for some reason it bugged out, I thought it was in PvE. Because even with those sets, it should not do that much damage. Otherwise, that is literally a walking nuke. like that's. Let's go. Yeah, there's no guards. I just want to see, like.
Hide away the corpses. You won't get away.
Yeah, it's bugged. It's so bugged. Literally. Yeah, that is bugged. It literally, so yeah. If that goes live, Necromancer is OP in PvP. We fixed it. If it doesn't go live, if you look at combat metrics though, I die, but it doesn't show on the combat metrics because I'm not in PvP. Cycle ending. I'm just gonna ask. That was insane. Absolutely insane. I think it's down. They've changed the damage calculations. So my thinking is that it's either interacting really weird with the mastery. Ready? Yeah. It's obscene. It is obscene. I think when ZOS changed the damage done calculations this patch and the pet stuff, because they tweak pets to make them more durable in PvP, I think they might have not adjusted the scaling. I'm going to go and report that, I think. I'll report it after stream. I was like, you got to try that on others and troll. I want to just see if it... We found out Necromancer is viable if it's bugged. I'm going to ask him to take off all gear. Like, and if it hits stupidly hard still, we know it's scaling with PvE numbers, which it shouldn't be. Ready? That's ridiculous. It's absolutely mad. Oh, this can't go live. So that he is now like naked, hopefully. This is why we go on PTS, by the way. For people curious, why do players jump on the PTS? It's to find stuff like this, because this is stupid. Don't die. Oh my god. Come here. Can't beat the guard. It's like a target dummy. Trial boss. Oh. Oof. Okay, so Matey Boy is just going to go and change his armor. So if you've just joined us, we were testing. We found a bug, we think. Basically, his blast bones was ignoring the battle spirit, and so did full damage. It was critting at 32,000 in PvP. And for context, I was having Rallying Cry and I got like 2.5k crit base anyway. So we're just he's going to take off all his armor just to really eliminate, is this skill now broke? I don't know if it's all pets. Because if all pets are like this, oh, it'll be tasty. Imagine all Clanfear running around, jumping on people, we're like, nom 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 nom, killing them really fast. Yeah, I did not expect it to do that though. When I saw it on a Necromancer, I was like, oh, this will be easy. Then get hit with 30k blast bones. It's like, no thank you, I'm okay. We'll do it over here, okay? Okay, I've got Vigor on Rallying Cry. Yeah, so that hit me way too hard. He's got no armor on. Yeah, he has no armor and no weapons, and it's hitting 12k. It's mad. Are you alright, Streak? He's on a talk. Hello, I'm lost. Please help. I'm trying to glitch slider. Yeah, that's bugged. That's 100% bugged. 12k naked. Oh, if that goes live like this. For context, I am pretty tanky. No, I'm dead. Okay, my money's on the Necro at this point. Ready? That's his shield gone. There's literally, bear in mind, he's got 2 shields on he has, because he's passive. Yeah, that blast bones is doing crazy damage. So. Yeah, for some reason that Necro is doing really weird, like really high damage. I don't think they buffed the skill, did they? When it hits him, it literally strips off all of his shield. For some reason, it's not. It doesn't seem like it's doing the same. Oh, I wonder. Is it the weird? No, it's not the weird passive because it was doing it without the passive. If he hasn't got his shield on, he's gonna melt. I think it calculates against shield. So I think the shield added in battle spirit, but I don't. If not, I can put a shield on and just check. So I think the shield is treating, making the pet calculate as it's got battle spirit. And I wonder if the shield drops, will he just blow up instantly? Because I do think it's bugged. Well, if I fight him again, it might be that maybe he's putting the sets on, fixed it all. Because it's not doing crazy damage like it was before. Before it did 32k crit. That is going to be a stalemate, that one. He's going for Deadlands build. So that time it hit them and it did crazy damage. I want to put on a shield. I want to... Do I have a... I don't think I have enough light armor to use that. No, sadly not. Any other shield we can get without needing to... Oh, because you probably use concentrated barrier. But yeah, Streak's walking off, that's a good idea. I want to try and work out. Street's like, you're offline, your bot. What I want to work out is... So if he hits me with blast bones... Yeah, look at that. Like, absolutely obscene. Like, it's ridiculous. Like that... It's mad. I think the shield... me Jordan again. Not yet. I want to just test out the streak. Yeah, it looks like the shield was what was reducing it. I'm gonna just hold block this time, okay? And see if it does. Yeah, even blocking that's still 16k. That's mad, that is. But 14. It's just, I don't get why he's hitting me so hard. I wonder if it's like on this character, because look. 22k. To get hit 22k with blast bones. I know this sounds really stupid, but I wonder if my masteries are like interfering somehow. Because they're the only things that are different than what you'd normally run. Because like, we've got a decent amount of resistance. We've got 25k. That's not a huge amount. It's still... I don't get it. I do not get why it's doing that. I don't understand why it's doing that much damage. Because if you're on combat metrics, like, it wasn't even a crit. It wasn't even a crit. I don't know why that's doing that, but all I know is it's bugged. I'm gonna relog. Oh, actually, I think I know it. I think I know the issue. Where did I change the difficulty? Change the difficulty I did. And I think it's that. I think the adventurer difficulty is scaling the PvP damage. Ready? It should be a lot less. That's what I think it is. Yeah. Found it. Okay, now we know what the issue was. Okay. I want to say streak. guys later. So okay, we'll see how Streak does with 20k blast bones coming at him constantly. Okay, you ready? That's his shield gone in one go. Yeah, look at his health bar. The blast bone it's literally like a nuke. It's so broken. Okay, we know what the bug is now at least, so we can report that. Bang. It's mad. I think it increases all damage as well. At least we know what it is. If you've just joined us, we've just found a bug on the PTS. The world difficulty, it doesn't apply to pets. So, wait 1 second. I want to just check with the bear. Does the bear have the same shenanigans as well then? Where did Streak go? We lost Streak. So we're just checking out, does the bear scale the same way? Because that's hilarious, that is. So it's this challenge difficulty, and basically it was increasing the damage done by pets that didn't respect battle spirit. So then when his pet was hitting me, I was taking 600% more damage from it. So I need him to put in the world difficulty to Vestige. Or Streak. I just want to check, does it apply to all pets or just blast bones? That's all I want to know is, are all pets like this? Because that would depend on how we report the bug. There we go. So, how much will the bear do to him? That is the question. It does 7,000 swipe. Okay, yeah, it scales. I want to check now, is it like temporary pets too? I don't think a temporary one's there, because that's about right. About 2.6k is what I'd expect. But what about Deep Fisher? Yeah, that it looks like it's permanent pets. Get him, little bear. Get him. $47k with a block. Oh, that bear is mad. It's absolutely mad. 52k. I think it's all permanent pets. Anything that's targetable, I'm gonna get rid of my bear. Because we don't need that. And then I will put my difficulty on to. Yep. I'm gonna have to go soon, but I love it when you find bugs like this. Like if you've just joined, we are. I want to see if these do like crazy damage. So let's see what the Twilight does to me. Oh yeah, that did 8k. A Twilight is hitting me for 5,700. It is, yeah, that. Oh, it stopped attacking me. That's funny. Oh, no, how much did that do? They've stopped going for me. How weird is that? Oh, no, oh my goodness. It's alright. It did 16k a tick. Yeah. Yeah. Anything that's targetable is not respecting the difficulty. So we found the bug. It is good to know, though. That is good to know. Okay, so if you duel on the PTS, put it on adventure to keep it fair. Because that is ridiculous. That is, oh, I can't get over it. We had green balance there, had the Fighters Guild. So we found the bug. Oh my good. Why am I doing the wrong freaking bars? I hate when it does that. So my ult is on the wrong bar. Yeah, it's so awkward not having it in the right bar. I got in for the Dawnbreaker. Silk's very good though. Very, very good. Slabs is just such a hard counter. I need to switch my ult because it's in the wrong place and I can't finalize. I really hate when it does that. Let me quickly put these in the right place. Where's Fighter's King? Where did he go? We've lost the streak. Don't know where he's went. Imagine he's gone this way. Yeah. Okay, challenge difficulty messes up Jaws. 100%. But no, I'm probably going to call it here in a sec, guys, because it is very late where I am. Orbital Strike. Isn't a Warden. Love Warden. Yeah, it's very hard though, given that. It's very hard. He's using the status effects, I think. They make quite a big difference, they do. Yeah, but because it was hitting really hard. That status one does hit very, very hard. Really hard. Yeah, using those two. Yeah, with that, he takes so much damage. Chill's doing 2,000 a tick. It's literally like a spammable at that point. He's got that signet. The signet with that is just... Oh. Werewolf is very, very good. That status effect is really strong. So when he hits him with Wrath of Elements, it does so much damage. That is quite a cool mythic. That Shattered Path Signet, so it increases your damage done with status effects by 1% for every ult you have, up to 170%. Both the current and maximum damage is halved against players. While you have more than 170 ult, your light attacks apply random status effects. So once every 4 seconds, it applies minor timidity to you, consuming 1 ult every 1.5 seconds. Basically, if you don't use ult, it's a lot of sustained damage. That status thing's so good. I don't think this guy knows the bug yet. We'll show him the bug. We will show him the bug. GG. The bear one-shot him. You put 64k.
Gonna pay or die. The felon has made restitution.
That sigil thing, sigil thing is disgusting. Is it like his status effects do so much damage with that sigil? Literally, chill is hitting for so much. Yeah, that signet is really strong in PvP. 800, 700. You go to the one before. 2k crit. 1500. 1000. 1000. They're both doing the same thing. They both have the sigil, that signet on. It is a very cool mythic. I think if you're going to run Warden next patch, maybe give it a go. But yeah, I'm going to have to call it here, guys, because it is late where I am. So yeah, I'm just going to say, obviously a big thanks to everybody that's watching and stuff. It really helps out. If you haven't done so, we are obviously looking for lots of people to subscribe and stuff. It really helps out. You know, most people that watch videos actually are not subscribed, so if you haven't done so, like, it would really help out. And if you want to stay up to date with the channel, you know, all that stuff, but usual, I'm just going to say a massive thanks to all the members who do support. I'm going to catch you next video or stream. So thanks for watching, guys. Take care, and bye.